Hello and welcome to Warframe. My name is Todd, also known as Mage, and this is of course a Warframe. Last time we left off, we had completed some objectives towards completing the final junction that we needed to unlock the entirety of the star map, the Eris Junction. So as you can see, we're pretty much done. The only thing we have to do is fight Lephantis. Now last time, I believe we went over how you get a Lephantis key, and also we kind of got relics and whatnot. In the meantime, I went and crafted an assassinate key by collecting just one more Lephantis nav coordinate, and that's what we've got. So now we've got a derelict assassinate key. Now our Oberlin, I leveled him up just a little bit so he can be a little bit tougher, because I wanted to make sure that at the very least we could fit all of the mods that I thought were important to his survivability. We're going to take Oberon into fighting Lephantis because I think he's actually going to be a really good fit, because he's very tanky and he can kind of regenerate his life and his Sentinel's life. And we're just going to go straight and fight Lephantis. Now, we are using our Sabaris, our Dex Sabaris that is, and our Dex Furus, and we're also using the Dex Takara just because I feel, or no, forgive me, not the Dex Takara, but the Galantine, because I feel those would be the best weapons to fight our foe here. Now, we won't really be using our melee weapon, we'll mostly be using our Dex Sabaris and Dex Furus, because that's just the kind of boss this is. But yeah, we're going to be alone for doing this, so this will be an interesting boss fight. I have no idea whether or not we're going to succeed, but I'm going to try my best. And if we don't succeed, I guess we'll have to wait until next time and give him another go. But I figure we're going to succeed. I think we've got a pretty good shot at it. We've got a lot of like HP regenerating abilities and lots of like extra survivability from the things that we've got. So I think we've got a pretty good chance here. Oh, I probably could have skipped those. Oh well.
The assassination target is nearby. Seek and destroy. It was difficult to locate the source vector of the sector's infestation, but you are finally here.
So
deep within this millennia-old Orokin-turned-infested ship lurks a creature created to fight in the old war. Make your way to its location and dispatch this monster. That was a Juggernaut. They were lured out by the death of infested. Lay low and it should go away, or amp up the fight to draw it out.
I'm gonna try not to get a Juggernaut on top of us before we fight Lephantis, as that would be. Lephantis.
The creature has grown unfathomably strong through centuries of absorbing matter and self-replication. I am no longer detecting signs of a Juggernaut. Move on. You are safe.
So our major goal here is, of course, to shoot into the side of the mouse here. I just wanted to be a little bit quiet there and let that kind of play out. Each of the heads of Lephantis kind of have their own weak point, so we need to kind of deal with that. I think we will have to disable all of the heads before we can proceed to the next phase. The next phase is getting interesting. This is kind of the head we want to avoid the most, that scythe-wielding head. It's extremely dangerous to us. It'll probably one-shot us damage-wise, which we really don't want. So we're just gonna also just kind of avoid enemies. The best of our abilities here. Kind of shooting Lephantis in his big old face. So I'm gonna use Oberon's abilities here. I'm going to throw down ground, and also activate renewal so you can get some extra healing going as we're fighting here. This is kind of a good phase to kind of prep any abilities you've got or want to use for this fight, and also test whether or not you can survive through this fight. And this is kind of the easier part of this fight. And yes, you'll be noticing I'm taking part of this fight as a fight. Appear to be stuck. This is an unfortunate thing that happens sometimes in the Lephantis fight. When pops up like that. You will notice as well that he's got like a damage resistance to high damage weapons. It's better to use weapons like shotguns, fast firing weapons, because they'll do more damage to him than the other types of weaponry that you can use. Okay, so we'll have to destroy all of the heads. We probably won't have enough Furious ammo if we keep using it. Oh, dang it. If you get stuck like this, the best thing to do is just kind of stay put or try and roll your way out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This will, of course, subside here in a second and we can move. Staying in kind of the middle is a good spot usually, but it's not a foolproof thing. The melee head will always spawn like close to you, so it's the one that'll probably get you stuck. There's no way to tell where the heads are going to appear. They just kind of appear. We can't shoot the melee one in its big fat face though. Oh here. Okay, so you can see that Oberon's a good choice here just because of the fact that we can have so much HP regeneration going. It's very useful. And this also kind of gives us a chance to see Lephantis' attack patterns, so kind of understand them now while you have the chance. Oh dear. Roll away from that. Let's get that one, because I know this one's weak. It's kind of good to focus on one head and then move forward. The two heads that are the most dangerous are the ranged head, which is the one we killed first, and the ancient head, which is the one that shoots out infested. Those are the more dangerous ones. The melee one does a lot of damage, and we want to avoid it, but it is not as big of a threat as the other two, because the other two actually have like somewhat ranged attacks. Getting it down though. You can see that Oberon's putting in some work here. He's effectively able to stay alive even while taking all this damage. And kind of deal with, oh, sorry, a little bit of burp there, kind of deal with the mechanics as they come. Not have to worry so much about getting killed. Thanks to the fact that we now modded him up. He's even better at dealing with that. It's just a melee head now, if we can get it down. Okay, come on. Gotcha. And so yeah, that's... I guess I can spoil it now. I kind of already spoiled it earlier. That's the first part of Lephantis. That's the first phase. We're going to get to the second here in just a moment. Because, believe me, any good boss has multiple phases. It seems to be a little bit buggy there. But that's okay. Needs the true body of Lephantis. Alright, so now you can see the names of the heads themselves, and they're kind of weaker than they are up top, which is kind of good, because you might have expended a lot of resources when you're down here. Major thing is you want to go for those weak points when they do appear. Focus on one head first, and then worry about the other ones. So kind of stay in one area, because that's kind of the better choice. While down here there are damage fields on the ground, so if you're using a weaker frame, you might not want to stand in those or take note of where they are. Thankfully we're not using a weaker frame, so we're able to just kind of go at it, and there's the infested corpus head. And of course, if you've fought any of the, or if you remember us fighting during the infested events in Cetus, we fought things that were very similar to Lephantis. Thankfully, Lephantis is much easier than the ones you'll see or fight in that event. And we can actually take him down. And with this, we got him. That is Lephantis. That is the whole fight with Lephantis. The water is, of course, the damage fields that will hurt you over time,
Target
so
down.
don't stand in it forever.
Assassination contract complete. Great work, Tenno. Heavy infestation ahead.
And yeah, so that kind of closes out the last part of our relay, or our junction there. We're done. We can just head out of here and unlock the final part of the star map. think that was a good
Target down.
fight
Assassination
overall.
contract
We did
complete.
very well. You
Great
can see you
work,
can get
Juggernaut.
the Necros parts. I'm talking all over myself. You can get the Necros parts from Phantus. Necros is amazing to get early on because one of his abilities, Desecrate, I believe it's his third ability, allows him to get multiple loot drops from enemies by desecrating your corpses. Massively useful for farming in later parts
Inbox
of the game.
messages await the operator. I wonder what they say.
Yes, of course the Stalker has to come after us because we killed the Phantus of all things. But since we can now, let us unlock that junction and be on our merry way. As you can see, it unlocks some quests, or a quest specifically, but it also kind of finishes out our whole... Oh, of course, I forgot. We have to do Exterminate beforehand. We have to do this Exterminate real quick, and then we can do the junction. I'm such a fool. We'll do this Exterminate as quickly as we're able to, and then we'll move on to that junction. If I had remembered this, I probably should have done it ahead of time. You'll have to forgive me. Yeah, let's skip this cinematic. We don't really need to worry about that. So you have to kill 108 things. Shouldn't be
Eliminate
too
all
hard.
corpus threats.
Pop, 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 pop. Our Oberlin should be well suited for dealing with anything that can come at us here. Let's activate this. We get extra armor. Okay. Well, we almost died there, but we're okay. Almost died is not actually dying. Let's kill them. Okay, let's not die to one Moa. Please. Thank you. Just dealt with Lephantus. I hope we could deal with some random corpus. Yeah, you can kind of see the major downside to... Oh, dear. Those are not what I want to fight. That's the infested emissary event. And they hit real hard. I want to avoid them like the plague. Just because they're going to be a little bit too difficult for us to deal with. We don't have anybody helping us out. And they're going to be annoying. We almost died to bloody normal Moas. Trying to fight those things. That's going to be a nightmare. Let's not deal with the zealots. Thank you very much. Or I guess actually we do enough damage that we might be able to take them down. Just want to avoid getting in close to them because they do a lot of damage up close. And I do mean a lot. Okay. Let's pick him up. Can we not pick him up? Is that how these ones work? Huh. Oh, they pick themselves back up. That's kind of weird. Oh, and they do something very similar to one of Negros' abilities. That's kind of interesting. Let's knock down this person. Oh my god, he hits real hard. I wasn't expecting to have to deal with these guys. So you'll have to forgive me for not being on top of my game here. Alright, let's go back and figure out... Did it move? Where'd it go? Oh. Okay. That's the one we already downed. I'm thinking we might have to down them all. Actually be able to defeat these guys. Holy cow, they do a lot of damage though. Oh my god. Let's not actually deal with them. Oh, well. I guess they're just gonna kill us and call it a day then, huh? Yeah, let's not. Honestly, I like this event as a older Warframe player, but I can imagine as newer players, this is probably exceptionally annoying. Just making a mission pretty much unwinnable. This. But I get it. Newer players need challenges too. Older players need challenges too. I just really wish they would kind of delegate it to missions where, like certain specific missions, rather than just having it in all missions, because just trying to complete a normal mission is terrifying when you have superpowered enemies coming after you all the time. And I don't want to deal with you. dealt with that one. I think he'll get back up eventually. I'm not entirely certain how these guys work. I haven't really, like I said, messed around with it too much. I just kind of avoided them, which is what I'm going to continue to do. Maybe in the future I'll figure out what they're all about. Right now I'm not worried about it. I'm just worried about getting these bloodies corpus killed, dealt with. Let's use a cipher. Yeah. They're coming for us, so I would prefer to skedaddle. Skedoodle. Get out. Hopefully they can't use elevators. Oh, they can. Good. Great. They can use elevators. That's what I was hoping they couldn't do, but they are able to do. That's unfortunate. I don't think I'm able to kill them even if I tried, honestly. I think they outnumber me and also outdamage me by too large of a margin for me to actually be able to deal with effectively. But here we go. Nope, that was the wrong door. Go to the other door. Where are they going? Are they running away? Before they were just attacking me like non-stop, and now they're kind of like running away. Is that kind of how they signify that their event was? I'm not certain. I'm really not. Like I said, I haven't really dealt with them all that much. Kind of ignored them for the most part. Either that or my teammates kind of killed them before I even had a chance. So. Interesting. Oh, criminies. There I go, not paying attention again and getting myself killed. Silliness. Despite how it might seem here, Oberlin is a genuinely good Warframe. I'm just not using him to his best capabilities right now, and I'm also not kitted out as good as I could be. Let's go over here, get the extra armor from that. My gosh. Gee golly gosh. Oh, that's why we got massively murdered. It's because the bloody heralds decided to come back all of a sudden. Let's just get away from them. Get the heckin' away from there. And just kill some normal corpus enemies. That guy and that one. Throw that down. Hopefully. Oh, no, they're coming. They're a-coming. Hopefully he doesn't know how to use stairs. Doesn't look like he does. Still kind of problematic that they're just right outside here. Oh boy. Let's get out of there. There. You know what? We're just gonna reckoning all these guys. Hopefully they'll start killing each other and not us. Cravings. I didn't think we were going to have so many problems with just this alone. Okay, let's reckoning those. Get that guy down. Just a couple more. Perfect. Let's get out of here.
Mission. Find extraction.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily term it successful, but sure. Cool. Okay. Well, as I stated before, I wouldn't necessarily term that successful, but that was as good as I think we were going to get. So if I remember correctly, the Eris Junction is ridiculously hard, and we're probably going to want to use Rhino instead of Oberlin. Now, I've shown off Oberlin and shown off how good of survival he has, but his major thing, of course, is that he's not very good against large hits. He can't survive many large hits. It's just not possible, so I think our Rhino might be a little bit better in that regard. Let me see what we've got. Let's go with... I don't think there's anything, honestly, that I can put in here that would make him tankier or better in most ways. Well, stagger recovery might actually be kind of nice, so we're going to throw that on. Okay, so we're going to fight this junction, and hopefully I don't die instantly, but I get the feeling I just might. This junction is most certainly, out of all the junctions, the hardest in my opinion. And if it happens to be the same, we'll see why. But this is our final junction as well, so I'm going to let kind of the cutscenes play out just so we can get a little bit of cinematic experience going on here. Who are we fighting? Oh, we're fighting Mesa. Whoop. Off to the side, Iron Skin, Roar, and mow her down and try and get up close. Mesa is extremely weak to melee damage, not range damage. She has an ability specifically designed to dealing with melee damage, or specifically dealing with range damage, so you don't want to use ranged weaponry against Mesa. You want to use melee weaponry against Mesa. Mesa usually would be far spookier, but I am just kind of tearing through her defenses here, and that's kind of a good thing, because if I let her just go at it, she would probably burn me down in a matter of seconds with one of her abilities. It's kind of a good thing that I'm just kind of able to stun lock her here. Her melee weapon is the Redeemer from the looks of it, and it's not very good against a Gallantine. So we're just going to kind of power through and just ignore her abilities altogether. Now, if you go into this fight and you try and use your ranged weaponry against her, you'll probably lose. Her major thing is that she reflects ranged weaponry damage and also nullifies it almost completely. So that's just a heads up. You're going to want a good melee weapon before you jump into this fight. But there we are. And that completes our final junction. Now, with this, there are many things ahead of you as a player, and there are many things you can do from here on out, because you've effectively, once you've unlocked your final junction, you've done most of what you can do outside of the quest stuff, and of course completing every single mission, doing some other stuff. There's some minor things that you can do, but that's the major thing, is now the star map is open to you.
Tenno, your codex has been updated with a new quest.
So that unlocks Eris, and that's the entirety of Eris, and you can of course fight the Mutalist Alad V Assassinate, which will get you the Mesa parts, or also the Jordis Golem Assassinate, which will get you the Atlas parts. But yeah, that's the entire star map unlocked. And we've also unlocked the Jordis Precept. You can see, of course, if we go over here, we haven't unlocked every single quest. There's still a good amount that we have to do. Some of the major ones is the Apostasy Prologue, which will kind of unlock the sacrifice and all that sort of good stuff. So if you're looking to get the rewards from that and also do the sacrifice, the major thing you need, of course, is to come over here and go to your landing craft and craft your Crimines. What is it called? It's the private chambers. What is it? Landing craft. Landing craft foundry segment. No, that's the wrong one. Forgive me. It's one of the foundry segments. Let's see. Foundry. Nope. Let's go back up to featured. We'll go landing. Crimines. It's the personal quarters segment, and I don't remember how to.
Do you remember
access
the
it.
old war, operator? Order seems to have misplaced those memories.
There it is. It's in their miscellaneous. I'm a fool. The personal quarters segment is what you need to unlock the Apostasy Prologue. Once you've unlocked the personal quarters, at this point you can unlock the Apostasy Prologue. Effectively, will open a door right over here, which will be kind of your private space, and there's lots of areas to decorate in there as well. And it will unlock that quest, and you'll kind of be able to go from there. Now, there's lots of different things we can do at this point. The major thing that I wanted to express, though, is that at this point the game kind of opens up to you, and there's so many different paths you can take, and there's so many different ways you can go. And there's, honestly, this is kind of where it starts to slow down. So this is kind of where I was planning on ending the series. It's a little bit premature, of course, because we haven't completed all the quests like I said we were going to, and we haven't completed a lot of the other like side objectives that you can do, things like Octavia's Anthem, Sands of Anaros, the Glass Gambit, the Silver Grove. Haven't done the Chains of Harrow. Haven't done the Mask of Revenant. Most of these, the Sands of Anaros, Octavia's Anthem, Glass Gambit, Silver Grove, Chains of Harrow, and the Mask of the Revenant, they all kind of unlock Warframes, I'm pretty sure, aside from maybe the Silver Grove. I don't remember that one unlocking a Warframe. Or maybe the Glass Gambit. The Apostasy Prologue, which like I said you get from unlocking the Personal Quarter segment and then unlocking the Sacrifice, also unlocks a Warframe. So most of the quests from here on out are just to unlock Warframes. There is a lot of story behind the Sacrifice and whatnot, but it hasn't really been explained to us yet exactly how all that ties into the actual story of the game. So currently we've completed most of the story of the game. Other things you can do, of course, is complete the rest of the quests, and you can, of course, level up Cetus and do the Eidolon hunts again. You can, of course, go into Fortuna and do the Prophet Taker event, and also Thermia Fractures, and all the different things that Fortuna has kind of to offer. There's also, of course, the new Infected event, which we kind of ran into there and had to run away from because we're still not, like, kitted out as good as we could for, like, Warframe builds. So this is kind of where I was planning on stopping on this side of things. Now, I won't be able to show off those quests, like I said, because a lot of them are really grindy. There's a lot, I mean a lot. There's hours and hours and hours you could spend on those quests trying to get them done and trying to complete them. And there's also a lot of like cool little Easter eggs in them, and there's lots of cool things that I would love to show off, but it would take me more time than I have currently, and also it would be terrible to watch most of it because it's, like I said, just a lot of grinding. I could show off like just the cool bits, but that would take me more time than honestly is worth, and it's better to just kind of experience those things for yourself. So I think what I'm going to do from here on out for these next few videos is I'm going to swap accounts, and I'm going to go to my other account, which I've kind of completed most of the objectives on, and we might go back and we might replay through some of those quests. We might, you know, see some of that stuff, see how it kind of goes. But effectively, if you've completed the War Within and you've unlocked most of the star map, that's all open to you. This is kind of like your realm now. You're pretty much a veteran Warframe player at that point. The major thing, of course, is, like I said, you want to start working on getting your builds together and trying to make your Warframes and your weapons as strong as possible, and from there you can kind of explore the rest of the map and kind of deal with these enemies much easier. And that's kind of what I want to swap to, is I want to show off some of the better builds that I can do in the future, and some of my favorite like loadouts and kind of how I run things, because currently, like I said, it would be a situation where I'd just be spending too much time grinding from here on out to actually make quality content. It would mostly be me grinding and not actually doing anything of significance. There's definitely videos out there, I know, for some of those quests if you're getting stuck on them, and they're mostly straightforward and not super complicated. The only one I can think of that like really gets somewhat complicated is the Sands of Anaros and its whole mechanic, but I'll try my best to explain that in the future, maybe in a video, because I know I'll be talking about Anaros in the future as well, so that'll probably be a thing. But regardless, his whole thing is that he kind of just, his quest is slightly cryptic, but not as cryptic as it could be. But yeah, I really would love to continue doing this series, but like I said, at this point, there would be too much time grinding and not enough time actually doing things. It would just be me doing fucking a mission over and over again, and it's not really anything interesting. Once I swap to accounts and maybe gone through some of the other stuff, maybe in the future we can show off some of like the higher end content and kind of go through that. But like I said, mostly I just want to show off builds and kind of go through things that I would recommend you do in the future, and then kind of end off the series on like a high note, because we've completed the star map. You've, at this point, in the game, you should kind of know a good enough amount about the game to kind of do your own research and figure out things if you really need help. This series was meant to be just like an introductory thing. It wasn't really meant to last forever anyway. So, yeah, we've kind of touched bases. We've made a good series, and I think overall we had fun. So, I guess for the moment, I'll be saying goodbye. And it was a joy. Until next time.